That's all he's eating.
Aha, we're live.
Good.
Good evening, Matt. If you're waking up in
No, he's not. He's Matt is
he's just finished work.
it's kick off time for Matt now.
Yeah.
3 days.
Between now and he starts work on Sundays, doesn't he? Sunday. So you won't between now and Saturday go mad, and then you won't see him
Just
Sunday,
disappear.
Monday. Yeah, he's fucking mad. He is.
Fair enough. Right, good evening, Periscope people. Good evening, everyone. We're back in the bunker. It's another Periscope podcast thing that we do on a weekly basis. Sometimes assuming that we've got somebody here to do something on a weekly basis. Anyway, while I'm trying to find the settings here so I can see your comments come in on Periscope. Andy, how was your weekend? Was it good? Yeah. Did you enjoy all the World Cup football? No.
I did.
Last, you want to talk about last weekend?
I'm just asking your weekend. I'm not asking you how you got on or what you thought of it.
Of international football?
Yeah, did you enjoy it?
Don't want to talk about it, to be honest.
Okay,
Depressing, isn't it? Really?
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
I thought it was great.
You thought it was great?
Yeah, the excuses being made for Ireland and Martin O'Neill was great. I thought.
Yeah,
I loved it. Me and Jamie had a great chat about it.
I have to say, honestly, I don't give a flying fuck.
What excuses?
Really.
Like most people are just slating on here now.
Now they are, yeah. They were, I mean, they lashed a new contract at him before the two games, didn't they? So
They were, but like people going, oh, they're not good enough in this. Yeah, they're probably not as good as Denmark, but the way they play is fucking horrendous. It's absolutely. They won't even pass the ball to each other. No, they won't. Like, and people going, oh, well, the level they're at, and you're kind of going, well, 7 of them are on Tuesday. What night was it? Tuesday.
Yeah,
7 of the starters were Premier League players. Like, and if he can't pass the ball from here to there, like, it's all down to him as far as I'm concerned. He doesn't want them to play football.
Well,
So that's the end of that. So.
fair enough.
England got a couple of 0-0 draws, which you know, means we're on the right path to win the World Cup. So
Joe Gomez has saved Liverpool 150 million on centre backs.
Noticed that, yeah, noticed that.
Yeah,
That's handy, isn't it?
I just think it'd be a bad idea to move him into centre back now. Like, as much as I'd really like,
Jomez.
yeah,
Jomez. He's lost the surname. He's just one name now. Jomez.
But like, it's always
Hashtag.
the same. It's always the same with our fans. Like, just
They're retards.
desperate,
Quite simple.
desperate to move on to the next phase. Like, you know, I can't just wait. Like, he's progressing very well at right back. I mean, it's such a bad situation that he's only being called to go into the middle because they just can't stand the sight of Lovren. That's not how a young player should develop and how he should progress. Like,
you shouldn't throw him in like that.
it might work. It might work. I think we've mentioned it previously. It might work if Klein was there, mightn't it? It might have a greater possibility of success. But now that Klein's gone for the foreseeable, I think we've got to keep him there right back, definitely.
Missing Klein, although I'd rather him there. I think Klein's still our best right back. It might work in the sense that you pick Gomez for certain games, you pick Trent for certain games, you know, the kind of way. Like the bigger games, I always want Gomez playing there just because his first thought is defensive.
Yeah.
But I said it the other day on Twitter, leave him a right back, leave him alternating games with Trent, getting 20-25 games this season there and bedding himself and just getting used to the players beside him. And then if you want to put him in centre half, fine. But like, he played the other night. He played very well. I didn't watch it. He played very well on all accounts. But stop talking about him. You know?
like the whole
Jomez. It's not Gomez anymore. It's Jomez.
Well,
the centre back situation,
Jomez.
centre back and goalkeeper situation, like, it's still quite bad, right? And there's no point in dragging Gomez into that toxic trio. Let him just keep going. He's doing well at right back, and you know, it feels like a few seasons ago when he was playing left back and we were talking him up and saying, a lot of fans were saying, oh yeah, let's get him in the middle. Just wait. Let's, like, you know, he's got a good bit of catching up to do. Like, a full season under his belt to be perfect.
Yeah, but like, if you watch, like, he had a good game the other night, but if you go back to the West Ham game, he's at fault for the goal, you know, and it was pretty basic, the mistake he made, you know. Jomez. You should have just I'm never going to fall for that ever again. So, you know what I mean? That's his name now. It's embedded in my head, but it was a pretty basic mistake.
The ball kind of dropped behind him.
Yeah, just stand your ground and head it, but he was trying to be too cute. So, you know, there was a lot made of that at the time, and then he has a good game on Tuesday or Wednesday night, and next of all, it's gone completely the other way, you know.
Yeah,
he's a young player, but I still think he'd be a really, really good centre half at Liverpool.
And the problem with our fans is, like, they'll tolerate like a couple of them, and they'll say, oh, you know, he's still young and blah blah blah. And next thing, like, the tide just turns, and they're they're slating him online, and the fella loses all his confidence.
Yeah. You get away with those mistakes when you've won the game 4-1. Do you know what I mean? Like that's fair. You can sort of say he's made the mistake, but you know it's learning.
If he makes that a 0-0 or 1-0,
exactly. If he makes that and we lose the game 1-0 to Chelsea or whatever, then it's you know it's going to get blown up.
Even if they get Van Dijk right in January, it
took 4 minutes.
Are you saying we're going to make a 14 bid? Is that what you're telling me?
It's highly unlikely. But just imagine he did sign and he was playing.
I don't think it's highly unlikely at all.
That Van Dijk signs Liverpool in January. All right. But anyway, just say he was playing for Liverpool late January, early February, and he's in that defence. He's going to have a mistake. That's going to happen. It's inevitable because that's what happens in that defence. They're so exposed, like there's lots of space everywhere. He's going to. So if someone like Virgil van Dijk's going to have a mistake, Gomez, who's only a kid, is going to have loads of them. And I just don't think now is the right time to move.
What about like if you're someone like Clavin who's coming towards the end of his career? Is he going to have loads of mistakes?
Yeah,
there you go.
Everyone's going to have loads.
What I can't get over though.
Yeah, but we don't have to worry about Clavin next season, probably.
Hopefully.
You know, but we do
That's
have a sort of an obligation to
give him a rub
develop Gomez as properly as we can.
Okay, so look, Annie, just on the Gomez thing, right? It's a well trodden path that centre backs often start as full backs.
Yeah.
So that they aren't under that intense pressure in the centre of the defence where mistakes are more magnified. Like if somebody gets past in the byline, you've still got a goalkeeper and potentially 2 centre backs who can clear the danger. If somebody gets in behind you as a centre back, nearly always you've got to run in on the goalkeeper and you're hoping your covering centre back is there. So from that point of view, isn't it smart to bring him into games, play him as a fullback the way we're doing it, the same way they did with Carragher, the same way it's been done with Honcho, started off as a right back as well, and then gradually bring him into the middle of the defence. Like he's played a couple of times now in the League Cup for us. He played in pre-season friendlies. He came in as a third centre back that was there. Now on the flip side for England, Southgate appears to have been dumping players that he doesn't really have trust in, right? And using the players that he's used in tournaments and in tournament football as the under-21 and the under-19 manager that's there. And that's why Gomez was more likely to start as a third centre-back in Southgate's preferred formation. And it is likely he's going to go to the World Cup because given his versatility and given the confidence and faith that Southgate has in him. Yeah,
the thing about it is, though, we've talked about Klein and the way Gomez has got in there because of Klein's injury. But I think Lovren and Matip's form has helped Gomez even more because he's seen as this right back that, like, his natural reaction is to come across and get in beside them nearly and make it 3 when he needs to. You know, as a fullback you're always told, you know, if the ball's on the far side of the pitch, get close to your centre half, be that kind of cover if he needs it. So I think the Klein injury has done him well, but as well as that, the 2 lads in the middle that haven't been good at all this season in my opinion, his natural reaction to go in and do that covering and nearly play a third centre half without being a third centre half, I think it's kind of helped him as well. And he's being fortunate in the way it's worked out for him.
It's starting to develop.
But don't keep pushing him across the pitch. Leave him where he is and let him develop defensively, and develop even playing alongside Matip on this side. Because if it, like you said, if it gets to next season and he bombs Lovren out, or he decides that no, I'm going to give Gomez the full go here in centre half, he goes in on the other side of Matip, but he's still playing beside him. You know what I mean? So that year of playing beside him and not right in the limelight, I think will help him.
I think obviously the Matip thing, him sort of trying to develop that partnership with Matip ultimately is going to be where it goes. But the other thing is, as well as Matip may well improve if he's got a better partner next to him, he's still not that world class centre half himself. I think if we had someone like that, if we had like a Carragher in his prime or whatever, you have a bit more confidence that you could just slot maybe Gomez in straight away. Do you know what I mean? So I think we've got to be a bit patient with him. The good thing about it is that, you know, here's this player who when he came on the scene, he, you know, there was a bit of excitement about him. Looked like we got a player from the lower leagues that we could develop. Then his career kind of went off the rails a little bit. You know, we were almost thinking maybe he wasn't going to make the grade of the club, and then he was going to either go out on loan or he was going to have to drop back down to Championship level. But thankfully it seems to have come back the other way, and we have got this player who can do something with for the future, and that's only a big positive for me.
Do you know the way we're talking about people saying we need centre halves in January, and it's blatantly obviously we do, one if not two. I've heard a few people saying over the last week, if we can get someone in that's an upgrade on Clavin, it makes us stronger. Would you go with that way you go and you try replace Clavin and get someone slightly better, or do you think you should always go for the best you possibly can get and nudge these people down the
pecking order?
We've long held a belief as a collective on this, like the Borg, that we should be replacing the first teamers, because those first team players become your squad players, and the fellas who are barely good enough at the moment disappear out the back door. And that's essentially that's how good teams refresh their squads. Unless you need to go out and sign 7 or 8 players because you're in a fully transitional phase in your development as a football team, you should be looking to replace the positions where you're already got strong players, because that just makes you stronger if you assuming you buy as good, if not better than players. Like the idea of us signing Keita for next season, this idea that we sign Keita for next season, right? Assuming that we hold on to Emre Can and continue. Now, I know it's all hypothetical, right? But you bring Keita in and you're adding to that midfield. If we bring Keita in and we have to replace Emre Can and Coutinho, we haven't made ourselves stronger. In fact, we've left ourselves with a lot of work to do to be as strong as we are this season. And that's going to be on the club to figure that one out.
So the only way, in your opinion, Keita works is that if, for argument's sake, Jean leaves and you say bring in, say from Goretzka is the name going around, right? So if you bring in but you've seen it going around. I'm just giving you a name because that was the name thrown out there, right? Pick a name, pick any midfielder, right? Right, okay, well him. But what I'm saying is, what you're saying is you need to bring in a player as good as Jean to replace him, and if you sell Coutinho, you need to bring in a player as good as him to make the squad better. Because Keita doesn't make the squad better unless you keep these players or sign better.
It might make your team better. It doesn't make your squad better. There's no point. This idea of losing one of your better players for another player, for one more player, doesn't make your team better. So it doesn't make your squad better. It might make the first 11 better. But we can already see we're facing 13 games in 44 days. That's going to stretch that squad. Markovic might even get a game at this rate.
Is he still there?
He's in the pictures training today.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Even Bogdan was training today.
Bogdan
was training today.
Bogdan, if he's not up on that fucking mezzanine having a fucking salad looking down at the boys training, I'm not interested. It's the best picture of the season.
And is Bogdan's job your dream job? Like he's not he's not even third choice keeper at this stage, right?
That was my dream job.
Because basically he gets to go into Melwood every day, put the gear on, right?
Sit up on the mezzanine. That's great. Sit up on the mezzanine.
Go up to the canteen.
It's like the third string quarterback in American football. They're never going to get a sniff of the pitch.
6th string quarterback.
Do you know what I mean?
Is that your dream job, Bogdan's?
Yeah, that's fine.
I think
I'd be well up for it.
I think they could get rid of Michael Owen as ambassador and put Bogdan in instead. And you know what I mean, he's just doing
get less flack,
there's no change to his job. He's just floating around doing whatever, you know what I mean.
It's grand, isn't it?
But anyway, back to it. Do you think that we should sign, like you said, a top quality, say centre half or midfielder or whatever it is, and move the players we have down the pecking order?
You don't even have to move them down.
Do you know
if you sign top quality,
I don't see the argument in bringing in a player that if Clavin is 6 out of 10, bringing a player that's 6.5 out of 10, bringing him in.
No. It all depends on what's available. Like they definitely need a centre half. So Klopp's hand might be forced. Like I know he doesn't ideally want to be buying in players that are just going to be second string when he already has enough second string type of players. So, but like if Van Dijk isn't available, which I just can't see Southampton selling them in January, then Klopp might just sit in his hands again. You know, it wouldn't surprise me. He's done it last January. He's done it this September. So
I don't think there'd be any panic buying. Put it that way.
There's a stubbornness there, though, isn't it? There's a stubbornness where if it was Van Dijk that he wanted, you just stay there and went,
is it a stubbornness, or is he just more patient than the general fan? Is he prepared to, like, he's whatever 6-year contract now? Is he prepared to build his team the way he wants it, rather than rush into buying players that he's only going to have to offload in a season or two?
Yeah, like, I think he is more patient.
There is only a certain amount of players available. Like, I know everyone laughed at Klopp saying,
I don't agree with that, Andy.
10 players that are better than Lovren that's available.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Hang on, lads. Hang on. I've got something coming hot in off the feed here. Grizz is telling me that Emre is staying. So that's that. Grizz has managed to find his sauces again.
He must have met him when he was on a jog, didn't he?
He covered himself in chocolate sauce this evening,
Right.
rubbed his nipples, and has found out that Emre Can is staying.
Yeah.
Right, he doesn't have a crystal ball, he has crystal nipples. That's how he gets his information.
What exactly did he say?
He said, hang on lads, Emre Can is staying, don't be worrying about it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's grand then.
Yeah?
Yeah, obviously it's next week.
I heard that myself.
Did
What?
you?
What, that he's staying?
Yeah.
Well, I heard the contracts are a fluid situation.
His one is a very viscous fluid, though.
Is it? Yeah, there is a you
Yeah.
have to. What is the level of fluidity that's acceptable for a transfer? Like, is it stream fluid or is it like? Are we talking sort of like
It could be
honey?
No, it's like a fucking tap
Honey.
on full blast just bashing into a sink.
Is
That's
it
how
that?
fluid it is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all over the
Yeah.
shop. You know what I mean? Spraying all over
Yeah.
the counter. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's heavy. That's how fluid it is.
But it's very hard to
There's
control
more
that.
fluid going in that's being let out. Sort
Yeah,
of thing.
it's yeah.
Yeah.
Would it be fireman hose level of power
Oh,
and
Andy,
fluidity? Like that's how many?
That's very fluid.
Many cubic inches of water are we getting through? Of fluidness are we getting through that?
Were we counting the friction losses?
Yeah.
Oh, the whole lot. Fill us in.
There's a lot of there seems to be a lot of friction losses when it comes to these ITKs.
Yeah.
You know.
Friction losses. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the Emre Can thing sorted. So
That's Emre
what's
Can.
So
next?
Can is staying.
Goretzka
I think
is
he will.
done.
Van Dijk's
Look
done.
at the Can situation, right? Everyone just assumes that Juve want them because they heard in tabloids on Sunday.
Are you saying that that ITK is no more than?
Like, he mightn't get into the Juve team. They might want to get a better player than Emre Can.
Like Goretzka?
They could do.
Well, they're meant to be in for him as well.
So what if Can's like options are limited to Schalke or one of the third or fourth best teams in Spain or France?
Well, I think we're missing the point. I think an awful lot of the rumours that he's been linked with say going back to Borussia Dortment and stuff
That's
like
City
that. Right?
as well, I think.
And
was
City,
named.
now the City thing I can get, because if he moves there in a free, he gets a massive fucking increase in money. Right? And I think when this boils down to it, his agent and everything that's behind it, his agent's looking my percentage. If he goes in a free and he goes for massive money, I'm getting a percentage of his total cost over the lifetime
And the
of his
big signing
contract.
on fee.
And the big
He
signing
doesn't
on
have to
fee.
move, Gav.
Well, maybe
No, he literally doesn't.
maybe I'm being naive then, but
And that's really
I just
fluid,
don't
isn't
think
it?
I just don't think that this particular situation is all about money. I think it's about a starting place in the position he prefers to get it to boost his international career.
Yeah, I think the
And
international thing's a big.
He's not
a
going to
big-
play
big
every
one.
game in a 6 for City, and he may not even do it for Juve. He might have to drop down a level to do that, and then if he goes elsewhere, like into a kind of a level of a team below Liverpool, they might not afford to pay him the money that
No,
the 100 grand or whatever.
This is my
Liverpool-
point. I think when people come to there's a limited range of teams that will pay the money that Chan's agent is looking wages wise, right? So say he's looking for 100 plus. I'm not going mental here to say 150 or 200 grand.
I think
Yeah,
he's only
but
on about.
at Juve, there's only one player paid more than 100 grand
yeah.
a week.
Enough.
Buffon isn't even on 100 grand, and
Well, they paid 58 million for him like 25 years ago, and they're still paying it off in installments to fucking Parma.
But yeah, I don't know. I think there's one player being paid more.
Oh, Grace, now tell me 200 grand a week is what's been agreed.
Well, now I know he's lying. Do you know what I mean? It's not 200 grand a week. There's no way they're paying him. What are you paying Coutinho now?
Who cares? Grace is
I
talking
think
to us.
Coutinho's on.
He's
about
out for the jog on the
150
bridge
or something. Is he?
I'd say
150, 160 grand a
No,
week.
I'd say
actually,
the
maybe more.
I think the
I'd
release
say
clauses-
I'd say Chan will be if he stays, he'll probably land up around 150. I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say. And look, starting
that's the going
you're
rate.
starting midfielder.
Yeah.
Starting midfielder for a Champions League football team who has aspirations to win the league.
Yeah.
That's what they're paying.
Now, if we end up with next season, we end up our centre midfielders being Henderson, Can, Wijnaldum, and Keita. Them four. He's going to be probably fourth choice until his form improves anyway. Because I think Klopp likes Wijnaldum, and I think Wijnaldum does certain things that
I don't know. I think
Klopp-
the Henderson
think-
situation is very
Yeah,
fluid
yeah,
as well.
I think it's horses for courses, and I
I-
think what
I
we've
think-
seen this year is more horses for courses. Like
Well,
Can,
it's just when it just Keita probably comes in and plays.
I don't think any of
That's the
them.
only
I don't
reason
think
I'm
any of
saying.
them can play in a 6 in a row. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think they can play. Like if you watch against West Ham, they went deliberately with 2 in front of the back 4, and
Yep.
that's to, in my opinion, was to protect the 2 centre halves. We do need protecting, and until you make, like you said, upgrades in that position, you probably need to stay like that.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, and I know when Henderson plays a lot, and I've said it loads of times, the opposition target Henderson, and what they do is they get a man in around him, and they bounce balls off that fella, and it's just literally 1-2 pass, and Henderson has no recovery left in him. Henderson used to be able to get down a pitch, up and down a pitch, get a tackle in, be physical, and the amount of players I've seen this season run away from Henderson, and they just seem to target him. And I think Henderson and Jan, if you remember in the run in the Europa League, they nearly played beside each other. Them two, for a long part of that season, they played together. And I don't think any of them players can play holding the midfield on their own.
No, so maybe they would. Maybe either of the two would with someone like Keita.
And
I
don't think, and I've said it with Klopp, I don't think we're playing holding midfielders in the classic holding type play, right? And that's why it worked against, when we sat deep against West Ham, the two of them went up and down whenever they wanted, right? They sat a little bit deeper, held in a little bit more, and that was it, right? When I'm looking at Keita coming in, he's going to come in to do a similar job to one of those two. Now, at the moment, if he wants to leave Henderson or Chan out of the side, Milner comes into the midfield at some stage. Now, we're talking about Keita comes in, Keita probably starts, and one of those two then become the regular bench player that Milner is at the moment, right? Or the alternate, depending on who it is.
Which is no problem with.
If he's at home and he wants more pressure up to front and he wants quicker ball, he probably plays Henderson. When he's away from home and sitting deeper, he wants somebody who's going to power through midfield, he probably plays Chan. It just makes sense that you have these options. Going back to when Rafa was in charge, and we had Mascherano, we had Gerrard, we had Alonso, and we also had Momo Sissoko. So you weren't relying on just playing the same three week in, week out. You need that variety. You need that ability to change your team around and do different things for different matches. And if the one thing I'm hoping that Klopp has learned, is that it isn't just sticking to one rigid system all the time. And that's the bit that's going to help.
But the thing about it was, even going back to, I know we've all discussed the West Ham game, but going back to that, like straight after the game, you probably had 3 or 4 formations that were being thrown out that people thought we were playing at the time. You know, people were saying, was it a 4-3-3? Was it a 4-2-3-1? 4-2-4-4? There was loads of it, and I have no issue with that, because look, if we don't know as Liverpool fans what's going on, you know, do other teams know what we're going to do?
It took them a few hours, a few hours for everyone to agree, because the heat maps came out.
Oh yeah,
and it showed the average touch
and position of
players.
Each player.
So now, I think it was Sam Maguire did the article, and he was talking about the amount of touches for each player in each position, and he actually dated it back a few games where, if you looked at the heat maps and the touches, it was actually quite similar in previous games, like against Maribor and that. So
the Spurs one wasn't. I remember Moreno was on the corner flag.
So did fans just not cop on that there was a little bit of a change in shape? And it took Klopp to say in a post-match interview for people to go, oh yeah. But he was able to say, no, actually, if you look here at this game and this game, it was looking like the midfielders were a little bit tighter together. And
right, one last question before we finish up our little stint on the Periscope. Andy, where we are now coming into this week, looks like Mane's fit. It's looking like we have a clean bill of health.
That was a quick 6 weeks, wasn't it?
Lallana is fit. Right, Coutinho unfortunately injured himself in training today and won't be there for the weekend.
He's flying to Brazil.
For specialist help via Barcelona.
He's going to just fly over Brazil and come back straight back.
No, he's flying via Barcelona.
Is it?
For special medical treatment in a medical centre.
Yeah.
Where they do special terms.
And he'd be brand new then, not about on him.
And he's absolutely fine for
I didn't actually hear
the medical. Did you know?
What's the real story?
It's 250
the real story is, Andy, did you get your haircut today? No. Everyone wants to know. Everyone, the questions coming in. Did Gandhi get his haircut? Crazy want to know.
Wasn't there today, no.
Was it not?
Get his haircut.
Did you get a colour in it?
Yeah.
It's looking very blonde.
A few highlights.
Ray, did you get your haircut?
I did. Not today. Not today.
2 for 1 special. That's it. You just hold hands across the chairs when you're in the barbers. But yeah, what was I asking? Yeah, I don't know.
You're asking where we are this week.
Where we are.
Yeah,
with Coutinho, and I didn't know anything about
you
Coutinho.
Don't know anything. Right, Grant. So look,
it's the 3 games, isn't it? The 3. I mean, obviously starting off with Southampton, but then you got the midweek game, and you've got Chelsea next week. So it's a big week. I was only thinking to myself on the way over, like, who's he going to maybe play for all 3 games? And I was only thinking probably Moreno, because he's got the legs. probably Salah.
Well, and he hates Robertson.
Yeah, well, that
like it's quite clear. Just if anybody's listening and watching out there, let's all be clear about it. Robertson was clearly a committee signing, forced on Klopp, and he has no interest in playing.
Don't start this again.
The same could be said for Chamberlain, but I think there's a few things going on. And
no, it's definitely forced. Klopp said that if they ever force anything on him again, he's walking.
It's funny, isn't it? Because he started saying he was happy biding his time.
Yeah.
Thinking his time was near, probably, and he seems to have now maybe slightly changed his tune a little bit because he's getting a bit pissed.
He's getting a bit right.
But yeah, I mean,
if he didn't need so many fucking battered Mars bars when he was on international duty, you'd have a chance of getting a game during the week. You fat bastard. Anyway,
he just has to wait his time until there's an injury and he gets in. Like it's a case where Milner's on the bench and he's going to cover the left back position. It's actually one of the couple of games that Milner started, Robertson got on the bench, didn't he? So he'll get on the bench once Milner and Moreno aren't in the squad.
The games are coming thick and fast now. You were saying about the number of games.
It's nearly half the time. I heard something the other day where the first 11 league games was over the space of 90 days, and I think the next 11 is over the space of 45.
Yeah.
So Robertson's definitely going to play,
and a couple of Champions League games as well.
Everyone's
thrown
going
in
to
the
play
mix as well.
Yeah.
There's a midweek game now for the next 4 consecutive weeks. So there's I
know Stoke away is one of them as well, isn't it, in the league?
Like Robertson must have known when he was making a step up from Hull to Liverpool, it wasn't going to be easy. Like it wasn't going to be a case where now I've made it. Like I'm now Liverpool's starting left back. So he's, I don't know what he's saying, but
I wouldn't read too much into it. He will get playing time. I think Milner will, but not a left back. But like Ray said, who plays all the games,
Milner's going to probably end up playing a couple of games at right back as well.
Yeah, but that's what their squad is for. But looking at this weekend, I'm excited about this weekend because of all, Bar Klein is literally a foot. If they're all ready and they're all in first team training.
So you're only messing about Coutinho, are we?
Yeah, no, he's grand. Do you know what I mean?
Nose blocked.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right, so anyway, without Klein, well actually it's a pity Klein is injured. I think Klein is by far our best natural fullback at the club.
By a mile. Yeah.
By a mile. And I think we do suffer when he's not there. And it's a pity that he has the back injury because he needed a rest at the end of last season. You could see he needed a rest, but I thought at this stage he would have been back in the squad, and it would have made us stronger as well going into the winter patch. Okay, so the last question comes in.
Sean leaving.
No, he's staying. He's staying in Grizz's house.
How many times does Grizz need to say?
Grizz has told us loads of times Chan is staying. He's agreed 150 grand a week. 200 grand a week. It's now 200 grand.
250. It's like a fucking option.
250. 120 grand a week. 130 grand a week.
8 grand a week and a new Nissan Micra is what he's staying by now.
Right.
Whatever you feel like saying, that's what he's saying.
Right. The last question is, Ian wants to know: will Gav ever be tall enough to get on the rides at Alton Towers?
No. No, unless we've had this before, and was it Grizz? Oh, Grizz, yeah, Grizz was heel man, and I thought he meant he made really large heels.
Oh yeah.
But he doesn't. He fixes people apparently. No, and he asks that fucking question every week. He's a prick.
No, Grizz has come in to tell us. No, he wants 200 grand.
He wants to.
He wants to. He changes. It's earlier he had agreed 200 grand.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not done yet.
Okay.
It's only got a green tick beside it.
Yeah.
Which means it's not done in ITK speak.
It's one of them, isn't it? He wants 200. Club probably wants to give him 100, so they'll just shake on 150.
All right, lads. So let's get on with the rest of the podcast. We're going to say good luck to everyone that's on the Periscope at the moment. The pod will be out tomorrow at some stage. When am I going to put it? It'll be out tomorrow.
It'll have to be tomorrow.
Friday,
isn't it? Put it out on Saturday.
No.
Put it out on Sunday.
Game will be
Put it out on Sunday.
3 o'clock on Saturday. Put it out on.
It'll be the preview to the away game against Southampton. Anyway, the most important thing to remember is that today we'll be talking about Virgil van Dijk. That's the most important thing to remember.
Yeah,
and his debut at Anfield this season. Right, pod will be out tomorrow. As ever, thanks to Skill Zone for sponsoring us, and the World Games is on the way. And
in November.
Is Gav definitely playing in it?
I don't know. You've asked me to play it.
Gav, the only thing is we were told we had to bring a step ladder for the hang tough bit so that you can reach up to the back.
I said I didn't want to climb or hang off anything, and you said you had to.
Yeah, you have to. It doesn't look just because you're a midget doesn't mean that you can't.
I know, but on beaches and everything else.
You just look. You are a real life hobbit. You look like a normal person,
and I'm a cunt.
but you're just very small.
Yeah,
You know,
that's it.
you know, especially when you have those blocks on you to drive that van.
Right. No, I have this thing in the van. Yeah, they're not blocks, but you can remove them if a normal person wants to drive it as well.
Oh, right,
So-
right. That's fine.
And added
Okay.
extra on the Ford Transit. It is.
Right, anyone that's watching, tell your mother that you're watching, and
Your mother, you're watching.
you didn't do anything wrong.
I'm telling
and,
my man on all of you.
you can tell your man, all of us.
Yeah.
And